The next vote to advance a government funding bill is set for today. The president met with some Senate Republicans yesterday and said the GOP, quote, will not be extorted into giving Democrats what they want. Democratic leaders say they've reached out to the president to negotiate on their health care demands, but the president said no meeting will happen until the government reopens. Yesterday on the takeout, former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy weighed in on the impasse.
You normally feel pressure by now. Normally you wait until a payday,
right?
Okay, and the troops not getting paid, nobody can stay. It also is, normally in these fights, everybody starts euphoria. You know, both sides are, we're winning because the base tells you that. And then you get 2 weeks into it, it's usually pretty defined. But the country is very divided. So Republicans think it's Democrats' fault, Democrats think it's Republicans' fault.
CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion is on Capitol Hill with more. That seems like a fair assessment, Nikole. Good morning to you. What do Republicans or Democrats gain today by letting this drag on?
Well, I don't think either side is looking at this as what do they gain from it. You know, what they want is what they want, right? You know, Republicans obviously want Democrats to sign on to this temporary short-term funding bill, even though we're starting to bump up against the deadline. It would just fund the government, excuse me, for the next, couple of weeks. But still, Republicans say they need Democratic votes for that. And then, of course, you have Democrats who say we have to address this issue of health care. These premiums under the Affordable Care Act are going to skyrocket at the end of the year. Republicans so far haven't negotiated with us on that. So each side is trying to force the other's hand here. And just in a sign of how frustrated some lawmakers are, I would point to the Senate floor as we speak, where Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley has been holding the floor now for more than 13 hours. And he says he is doing this in protest of the Trump administration and what he believes is the president's, in his words, grave threats to democracy. He feels that the country is moving more towards an authoritarian state. That concerns him. So he is holding the floor in protest of that. And, when you talk to Democrats, that's really what some of their chief concerns are, making sure that the White House doesn't claw back money that Congress congressionally approves. And obviously dealing with this issue of health care, rolling back some of those Medicaid cuts in the big, beautiful bill. So it's the overall actions of the administration that are causing Democrats here to hold the line, which is why they're not budging. Republicans, though, not budging either. As you heard the president tell Democrats yesterday, he's not sitting down with them until they reopen the government.
And we're looking at live footage of that senator in his 13th plus hour of speaking on the floor there. Meanwhile, Nikole, people are suffering. And I know that you visited a food bank serving furloughed federal workers. What did you experience? What did people share with you?
Yeah, well, I think what was interesting about that, first and foremost, here in the Washington area, these are food distribution sites that have been stood up specifically to help furloughed federal workers and contractors during this shutdown, and they will continue for as long as this shutdown lasts. But there was a huge turnout at this particular site that we visited. They were expecting about 150 people, and then more than 300 ended up showing up. And these are career employees of the federal government. I talked to some people who have worked for 20, even 40 years for the federal government, many of them coming to a food bank like this for the very first time. Take a listen to what two employees from the Defense Department told me. How are you trying to triage that?
I'm just not spending my money frivolously. I'm making sure all my money go towards my bills. Thank God that I pay my bills a month in advance because of the threat, but everybody can't do that. So by the time I do start really feeling the pinch, hopefully the government will be back open.
We're going to definitely try our best for those things. Hopefully, I have tried to put some things in place, keeping myself busy, keeping myself occupied, and still being on the lookout. But we can only hope to see what will happen.
So those workers being very strategic, using this food bank as an opportunity to stock up on food as they try to, manage their budget and bills. But many of these federal workers, even though they say they have some means to maybe stay afloat for the next couple of weeks, they are concerned the longer this drags on.
Yeah, they're doing the best they can. Nikole Killion with all the latest for us. Thank you, Nikole.